everybody. Today we are going to be doing a painting for our live stream. As you guys can see, I have all of my paints set up, and I have my cup of water right here and my paper that we're going to paint on, some brushes, and I have a pencil and a ruler because today our painting is going to be a perspective painting. So what I'm going to show you is how to use different measurements and things to figure out the perspective when you're doing a painting. And we're going to be painting this cute little kind of autumn country road scene because I want fall to be here immediately. It is far too hot. I do not enjoy it particularly, not here for summer. So we're going to be painting a beautiful idyllic fall scene today. We're going to be getting our Bob Ross on up in here, and we're going to start off by, I'm going to show you guys some little perspective tricks. So basically what we're going to do, and this is why you need a ruler to kind of follow along, is you're going to need to place your ruler, some bit up the paper, probably about, I went 4 inches on that other one. I think I'm going to go 3 on this one. Probably about 3 inches up the paper here, and you're going to mark the center of your paper about 3 inches up. So what I'm going to do here, 11 inches, I'm going to go 5.5 right here in the center, and this is going to be your center point of your drawing or your painting, and that's what we're going to start off with. So if you measure, you're going to find the exact center of your painting here. I keep getting caught on that little thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is that center point is going to be our focal point where we're going to put the blue later. So I'm just going to kind of like sketch out this little weird little archway or like a little circle or just a little area where, so that I know that that's going to be where our break in the trees is, because that's the only blue that's in the painting. That's the only sky that's in the painting. And if you want yours a little bigger or a little smaller, I think I might do like a bigger one on this one. The trees were a little overbearing in that last one, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a bigger expansive blue in this painting. Okay, so when you have your center marked and you know where it is, we are then going to measure however many inches we want our ground to come up. So if you look at the one that I did here, you see I was kind of, you're kind of able to trick the eye into thinking that the pathway is going up, that you're walking down a road. So I measured a few inches on the side here to see where I was going to angle my sides to meet that center point. And I think I'm going to go I'm going to do about 2 inches of ground on this painting here. So I'm going to measure on my sides. I don't know if you guys can see because Facebook Live likes to be long ways, and this is a landscape painting, but I just measured 2 inches up the side here, and that's going to determine where we angle out our road that we are creating. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to follow, let me move that a little bit, I'm going to follow from the point that I marked in the middle to the point that I marked on the edge, and I'm going to draw a line. And there we go. That's going to give you your bottom tree line for your perspective here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So just from that middle line to the end, and whoop, well, that doesn't really matter. We're going to get painted over anyway. So that's what I'm going to do to figure out where my road is going to go. And then I'm going to take that and I'm just going to kind of angle it and decide how big I want my road to be. Now, it depends on what you want, if you want a big pathway, a little pathway, but I'm going to meet that midpoint here, and I'm just going to angle out my ruler a little bit and draw another line so that I know where I'm going with this. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now we have an expansive road that we're traveling down. Okay? So basically what that's going to do is that's going to create the illusion, you know, that you're walking down this pathway into this break in the trees, you know, down this beautiful country road. So once you get all of your lines drawn where you want them to be, you're going to decide how big you want the break in the trees to be. And like I said, I had done a smaller one on the other painting, but I think I'm going to do a bigger one on this one because I want to fit a little bit more of that blue in there, make it look a little bit happier. So I have decided I went about, let's say, about almost 3 inches up from where I started my road here. And that's going to be kind of like the top of my tree line right there. So my tree line is going to end somewhere around here. And I'm going to angle it up. So I'm going to go, and it depends on how, you know, how much leaf to tree ratio you want. And you're going to see what I mean by that when we're painting. So I just kind of went, I'd say that's about 4.5 inches up from my bottom tree line here. And I'm just going to make another angled line up this way. And I'm going to do the same thing with another angled line up this way. And these are all just guides because that tree line, that angle right there, that's going to be leaves and stuff from the trees, so it's not going to be quite as straight of a line as we would want because we're going to be painting trees today. So once you have everything kind of worked out as to where you're going to want things, that's when the painting comes into play. So I have all of these colors here, and because I'm doing a fall scene, I picked, you know, yellows and oranges and reds, and I have this other really pretty red. Oh, I have some left. And then I've got these browns here. This is like a light brown, this is kind of a darker brown, and this is asphaltum, which is, I guess, supposed to be like the color of a road. I don't know, but that's a very dark brown. And then, of course, I have black because we always need black. It is a tone, not a shade or color. And they always say that you shouldn't shade anything with black, but I do anyway because I feel like it. So I'm just gonna put some, you know, I'm gonna start with my road here. So I'm gonna do my dark brown shade, come on, first, and then I'm gonna do some black beside it. There we go. So that I can get in my shading. Okay. Let me make sure that you guys are in frame. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the black here, and I'm just gonna go kind of where I know the edge of the road is. La 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 la. And just wiggle my brush back and forth, because the thing that I like about landscapes, and if you are a enthusiast of Mr. Bob Ross, whom I have watched since I was a child and appreciate very much of, landscapes are very forgiving. You can disguise pretty well everything, any kind of mistake that you make in a landscape pretty easily, because nature is not perfect. It is... Oh, you hear that thunder? Speaking of nature. Okay, nature, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say you weren't perfect. Goodness. Yeah, but nature's not perfect. Nothing in nature is perfect. So if you make a mistake, you can very easily go back over it and pretend that it was supposed to be that way. When I do art classes with the kiddos a lot, and with the adults, I tend to notice that people are a little bit hard on themselves if things don't come out perfect, and they don't have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, when I look at perfect paintings, I don't really like them. I like to see mistakes. I think it makes things look fun, you know. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of, I put some dark on the edges where my road kind of ends, as you can see, so that we can determine it from the rest of the ground. And then I took in this brown, and what I'm doing is kind of, it's sort of a dry brushing technique where I just kind of rub it into the paper on a dry brush as best as I can, and it kind of creates this sort of soft look here. So now that that is down, I'm going to start with my lighter brown color here. Someone's listening to the radio on the porch. Da, 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 da. I get music today, guys. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that light brown color, or lighter brown color, or the lighter brown colors that I have here. There we go. Okay. So, as you can see, I have these two lighter toned browns here, this really light one and this kind of light one. And I'm gonna take a new brush and I'm gonna go in the center. So I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna kind of lighten up that center. Oh, look at how nice. And it's just gonna kind of make it a little bit, you know, lighter and a little prettier, and it's gonna have some, you know, and you're gonna want to follow the same angle that you're going at. So you're gonna get bigger at the bottom and smaller at the top here to keep that illusion that we're traveling down a road, everyone. So here we go. Now we're gonna go in with that really light color and add in a lot of depth into this road here. Yeah. There we go. Oh, that's already turning out super good. Always remember, the only person that has to like your art is you. Because you painted it, so it's there to make you happy. There we go. And if you can make other people happy with it too, that's just a bonus. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's a nice little road. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, everyone. So I'm gonna add a little bit more light at the end of my road here than I have elsewhere, because that's where the light's coming through with the trees and all that. It's the end of the path, so you know there's less shadows and stuff. It's brighter. Okay. So, now that I have done that, I'm going to attempt to pull a paper towel off this paper towel roll. My goodness gracious. Alright. And wash off. Okay. I'm coming back to this brush here because this brush is going to help us make the trees. So, we're going to get some black on our brush here. And we're going to go on that line that we drew, because that's the bottom of our tree line. So that's the bottom of our trees, naturally. And I'm just taking it and going along the edge here, and I'm just dabbing my little paint right here. Yep, there we go. that's just kind of a baseline there for our darker brown here that I'm gonna take on the edge, and I'm gonna take this and sort of swoop up with it. So, whoop. There we go. Nice. La la la. And we're gonna blend all that in later. You can swoop down too if you want, because that's all getting blended. And we're gonna go the whole way up to that bottom tree line. And if you get a little black in there, that's fine, because we're gonna make our tree trunks anyway. And notice how I'm kind of dipping closer to this line, because I'm making room for some of my leaves that are going to be up there. So wonderful short little brush strokes. There we go. And we're going to take the black again and just kind of come up with it in some different spots to kind of blend that all together. Oh, wasn't that nice? Alrighty. Looking pretty good, I'd say. Now, we're going to also kind of shade it underneath here, put some darker color, because our leaves are going to be overhanging in those spots. Leaves create shadow, obviously, so we're going to kind of blend all that together as well. Get some more brown on my brush, blend that in. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right. Now we can start having fun. So I've got some black on my brush, and I'm going to just kind of start drawing some lines in here. They don't have to be perfect. Once again, they don't have to be the same amount of, you know, length apart. They don't have to do anything but kind of infer that we have some tree trunks going on these trees. Okay. Now we're going to do that, and we're going to leave it. We're going to leave that side. We're going to go to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did, because those tree trunks need to dry so that we can put in some light. So we've got this here, and I'm just going to kind of go up the same length. I'm going to leave a little bit of space for my leaves. And it's still raining outside. That's nice. Alright. I'll come back in with this black here and kind of shade up. There we go. And I'm gonna also shade it down. Take some of that black and scoot it all in there. Take some of that brown and get on in there. Alright. Get some black on my brush again and do my little tree trunks once again. So, hello, a friend has come. I heard a car horn. All right, so there we go. There's all of our trees there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wash this brush because we are going to need it for leafing. And I'm gonna take this little bitty brush right here and dip into that light brown. well, maybe not that light brown, maybe, yeah, this light brown. It's a little bit darker than the very, very light one. And I'm gonna pull it in where I want to kind of infer that the light is coming in on my tree trunks. There we go. Just kind of adding it in, and I'm gonna kind of fade it out. I'm gonna have not so strong, you know, lighter tree trunks towards the edge, because, you know, if this is the light source, if this is where the sky is going to be seen coming through, then it'll get darker as you go out to the edges. So I can do that a little bit more here. Okay, and then now I'm going to take the really light one and throw some of that in there as well, just to kind of make it look a lot like there's, you know, there's some trees. Look at that. Wow. Trees everywhere. Okay. Good deal. I have to check on my my filming ever so often. It kept wanting to bounce me out last go around. Make sure you guys are still there. All right. Okay. And of course, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just gonna add in some light here, light there, you know, some light, and then blend in the light on the side a little bit more, because it's very light. There we are, and whoop, got a blob going on there. It's all good. Okay. And then I'm gonna get this really light color and go in on this side too. I promise you, this is a style of painting that looks a mess until you're done. When you're done, everyone goes, oh, it's painting some trees. Okay, I see it. Trust me. Had many a confused art teacher. Alright, so once you've got all that done, now I'm going to go in with that light brown on the base of the trees here, and I'm just going to kind of fill in those areas, because they're getting full of leaves is what they're going to be. So, but I need to put a base of some ground down, so I'm going to go ahead and do this light color here. And then I'm going to darken up its edges with this kind of darker brown a little bit. You can just see, I don't even know if I'm in frame. And then I'm going to use that kind of dark brown again. We're going to go back in here, but there's going to be leaves everywhere, so we don't need to worry that much about it. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side once again. Just going to throw some color down. Probably breaking like 5,000 rules of art fundamentals. Other people are like, no, don't listen to her. That's what I like about painting, really. You can kind of do whatever you want. There you go. Okay, so there we go. I have my pretty little pathway. It's all painted up. And we are going to start on the leaves. Now I'm going to get myself a new paper towel because that one's full of brush strokes. I'm already liking this one better than the one that I did as an example. So just goes to show you that Practice makes perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my blue. Because I want to be able to paint over it with my leaves. So if my blue will come out of the tube, there we go. There it is. There we are. Gonna get my blue there, and I'm just gonna kind of go in there and just kind of throw that blue in. I'm really kind of trying to be precise on the edge where there is tree, because very obviously if there's a break in the trees, it's going to be a straight line, because tree trunks are usually straight lines unless it's a very crooked tree, which I guess this could be too, if that's what you wanted. Okay, and then I'm going to go up in here and just kind of do that. There you go. All right. Blue's down. So now I'm gonna get my tree colors, my yellow and my red and my orange, and I'm also gonna use a little tiny bit of brown, just a little bit, to add some depth in there. How do I already have paint on my sweater? Look at this. Look at this. What a mess. What a mess she is. And it's blue too. I used that paint for 5 seconds and there we are. On me. Okay, and the brown that I'm using is that medium brown instead of the light or dark, because it goes better. I feel like it goes better with the color scheme that we have going on. Wow, okay. I'm glad that didn't fly all over my shirt. That's good. I'm glad that it didn't do that. Okay, so I am going to take my big brush. I love painting with these huge brushes. I guess that's another thing that I don't know, inherited from watching Bob Ross too much. He would paint with like a house painting brush. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But I don't know. I think it gives you a different look. It's just really haphazard and kind of crazy, and I like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my brown first, and I'm gonna kind of go on the edges here, and I'm just sort of smacking it on, you know, for lack of a better term. Just like, ha, there it is. And I'm just kind of following that line to make my leaf line. And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna go up a little bit with it, just, you know, up a ways. I may end up using some of this darker brown, guys. Hold on 1 second. Inspiration strikes. Oh, if it'll let me. There it is. Okay. I'm just gonna get like a teeny bit on my brush. And what I'm doing is, you know, I get some on my brush and then I kind of stamp it on the side here to kind of make it feathery. If that's the term that I'm looking for. I don't think it is, but I'm sure there's an art term for it. I just don't remember. And yeah. That's gonna add some pretty good depth into there, I think. Okay, and now the next, well, I'm gonna add in a little bit of depth up in here too, because I don't know, I feel like it. You don't have to do that, that's optional. I think that red is gonna be the next color. So I'm gonna put some red on my brush, and I'm gonna go in and stamp some red just like I did. And I'm gonna keep doing this until it's kind of blended in. You might have to go back in and get some brown on there to kind of blend the two colors in. But yeah, looks nice. Looking like leaves, everybody. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna come in here with a little bit of red in here. I'm gonna wipe off my brush a little bit, and then I'm gonna get brown. I'm gonna just mix those colors in. And they're gonna be so pretty. Just a big old mess. Look at it. Ugh. But I kind of love it. I kind of think it looks great. There we go. Okay. Ah, hello leaves. How are you? All right. Now I'm gonna take my orange and I'm gonna kind of add in a little bit more depth to it. I'm gonna go on top of where I had that red. There we go. Just sort of keep stamping it down. My art teachers used to tell me that I like to make mud, but what I like to do, and some people don't, I like to make my mud first, and then I like to come back over it with brighter colors. I think that makes it fun. Yeah, I like layers. I like painting in layers. Also makes it a little bit easier. Okay, I'm gonna put some dark back on my brush so I can get some of my dark back in there. Yeah, there we go. Pretty. Okay, so I'm going to now take this yellow in here. I'm gonna wipe my brush off first, because that will actually make mud. Okay, so I'm gonna get my yellow on my brush. And I'm gonna go in and kind of put some yellowy, again, almost, it's like a highlight almost. It's like really, just really bright and really cheerful color. Let's see, I'm kind of going over where I made all my mud, because it makes the bright color really pop out. Do the same thing with my orange too. I'm gonna throw a little bit of orange in there. Cool. Okay guys, so take a look at the tree. Now, I know some of you probably watched that and were like, what, huh, what? but trust me, if you just keep playing with it, you will end up with things that look remotely like trees. It's very, very fascinating. I'm always kind of impressed, because, when you're in the middle of painting something, you're like, this is going to look terrible. and then you finish it up and it does not look terrible. That's something that I tell the kids all the time. It's not gonna look terrible. You have to keep going. Because if you stop, then it will look terrible because it won't be finished. So you have to make sure that you keep painting, keep drawing, just keep going. Just keep layering stuff on and putting stuff places, and it'll come out so pretty, so beautiful. That is the way that art operates, I find. There we go. I'm also very hard on paintbrushes, in case you can't tell. But then again, so is every other artist that I've ever met, I think. I know a lot of people that are very hard on paintbrushes. Oh yeah, adding some of that orange in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of red back into it, just to kind of give it some depth there. Yeah, some little lighter red in here. And I'm gonna get some little lighter red in there. Oh, that's so pretty. And I like to kind of take it down a little bit in these areas where it's like, where they meet the tree trunks. Oh goodness. And you can even, kind of swing it down a little low, because like there's probably a tree branch that right there, right? I mean, there might be, Yeah. Having a little bit of orange in there too. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. Okay guys, and there you have it. The only thing left to do is add our leaves to the bottom of where the trees are. Oh my goodness, hang on, wait. I need to get another paper towel because I just made a mess. There we go. Mess is gone. As long as your mess is easy to clean up, it's perfectly fine to make one. And okay, I'm gonna take my orange here and I'm gonna go along the bottoms of the trees. You guys see what I'm doing? And I'm just kind of placing the orange here and kind of by the edge of the road a little bit. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go in and get some red and I'm gonna put it down in there. Those are the leaves that have fallen, so yeah. Because you know there's gonna be leaves all over the ground in a place like this. I don't know what road this is, but I feel like this road probably leads to a country store that has like, it's like an old time country store. It has like a pickle barrel, you know, and it's like, it's probably in Tennessee somewhere. And there's like, it smells like apples, you know, like an apple spice candle inside. And there's like this nice old lady behind the counter. It gives you free samples of stuff. And then you leave with like 20 jars of pepper jelly because you just can't stop yourself. Yeah. I've been to Tennessee a few times. Ah. Those colors, I love it. I'm excited. This one came out better than my example, so we're just gonna look at this one. Ah, okay, everyone. Our painting is done. Oh my goodness. And I'm gonna go ahead and sign it. And I sign everything in red. My art teacher, Miss Rhonda, taught me that. She said red shows up. So I sign everything that I do in red. There we are, a little signature down there on the bottom. And there we have it, guys. Oh, isn't it pretty? This is the first painting demonstration that I did. I am hoping that one day we're able to have programs at the library again, sooner rather than later. And I'm hoping to do some live painting demonstrations, not just for kids, but for big people. So, you know, give us a, that's the first time I've hit this tripod the whole time. Give us a like or a comment. Tell us what days, like would you like Saturday mornings or like sometime in the afternoon if you're interested in painting demonstrations, because that's something that I think we could have a lot of fun with. So until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye for now. Bye bye.